Welcome to the ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Rahi and Roy. We are covering all of the regions of the world. There's one region we didn't talk about.
No region unturned.
No region unturned. And that is, of course, is the Oceania region. And we want to say a very happy congratulations to New Zealand All Whites for making the World Cup. And we're going to get into that in this video. That's what we're going to talk about. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn about New Zealand, stay tuned for the next 10 minutes because we're going to break it down. Boys, New Zealand has made the World Cup. Congratulations. Roy, of course, wore the rugby team's hat. But you got to get an all whites one too, man.
I could not find one because they're not as popular here.
Yes, but they're about to be, right, Rahi? They're about to be.
This team is going to take the World Cup by storm, my friends. New Zealand into the World Cup. Oceania finally getting that automatic spot, Roy, that they deserve, man. Finally getting some respect. Put some respect on Oceania. Put some respect on New Zealand. They're heading to the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, Roy.
That sounded really sarcastic. I'm gonna hope it wasn't. Okay.
It was not. And we'll get to why in a second, because there's history with this team. They're a little good in World Cups.
You're a little overly dramatic with they're going to take the World Cup by storm. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on that one. But what is super, super exciting about this is let's look at the past few. 2022, they lost 1-0 to Costa Rica and failed to make the World Cup. 2018, they lost to, you guys remember?
Peru.
2-0.
Roy's team.
2014, it was a two-leg. They lost 9-3 to Mexico. Yeah. So it's been heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak for this New Zealand team. And finally, halfway through that game, guys, against who was it? New Caledonia. Yeah. It was looking a little shaky.
It was 0-0.
It was 0-0, man. And then Chris Wood gets taken off. And then it's like, whoa, who's going to score our goal? Like this New Caledonia team was super compact. But they figured it out. And who did it? Of course, an MLS player, guys. Of course, an MLS player comes through and saves New Zealand's hopes. Michael Boxall, the hero. I love to see it.
Yeah, so just a little history I want to talk about between New Caledonia and New Zealand. By the way, New Caledonia, a credit to them, and they're going to get they're getting an opportunity. They're going to get an opportunity.
Crazy.
But the most famous victory I've seen overall is New Caledonia beating New Zealand in the OFC 2012 Nations Cup, which actually caused Tahiti to get to the Confederations Cup, if you all remember when they played against Spain and those teams. But it was that upset victory. Weird. And Rocky Nakane, who was the goalie that was giving New Zealand trouble this past week, was the same goalie that beat them 2-0 back then. And so just a lot of history, a lot of exciting stuff. So New Caledonia, best of luck. But yeah, back to New Zealand, right?
Well, I got to give credit to New Caledonia real quick. There was some heroic goal line defending. New Zealand was dangerous on corners. They finally did score on the set piece. Great delivery. But time and time again, New Caledonia was clearing it off the line with their bodies. Eventually, they succumbed. But as Sa said, they're not out yet because they get to play in that all-famous Inter Confederational playoff, Roy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not
I
over.
mean, let's see how that goes. They would play CONCACAF region, no?
I think it's not.
I don't think it's determined yet. I think that's going to be figured out. But okay. So back to New Zealand returning to the World Cup. And guys, there's some good history. A little trivia here, you know.
2010. I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
This is what I was alluding to. This is a team, as you put it there on the screen. They did not lose a game in 2010. If you remember that first game, Mr. Winston Reid coming up with the late equalizer. And then, they played Italy next. And did they lose that game, guys? Did they lose to Italy?
No, they did not, my friend. No, they did not. And they got Italy knocked out. They got Italy knocked out in dead last. They didn't finish last in their group with a group with Italy in it. That's insane. That is something
why Italy, Slovakia, they got through.
And Paraguay,
they didn't get through.
Paraguay got
they tied.
It was, and then the last game was a scoreless draw against Paraguay, and that prevented New Zealand obviously from getting through. But still, like It was a very credible performance. 3 draws. They took the lead against that Italian team, if you remember. And then there was kind of like a little bit of a dubious penalty that they got scored. Chris Wood had a chance to win that match at the very end. So let's talk about him, because now this is a guy who is killing it right now in the top league. Well, I won't say top league, a very, very good league, which is, of course, the Premier League, right? Just in case fans of their other leagues have some kind of opposition to that. But this is guys performing at the top level, guys.
Yes, at the top level for a team, not just a Premier League team, but a team that is playing so well, as you said, right up there at the top of the table, now into the FA Cup later rounds with a chance to win a big trophy. Dude, this guy's a player, Roy.
He's been a player for a long time, man. When he started, what was his first team where he really broke onto the scene in 2007? Hamilton Wanderers. He had like a goal every game at like age 17 or something crazy. That's when he eventually made the move to England. West Brom, he did so. He got sent on loan 1,000 times, but then Leicester City, Leeds United, Burnley, and now Nottingham Forest, man. He is a killer for Nottingham Forest, and he kind of waited till very late in his career to become an exceptional striker. He was always good, but now he's exceptional, and he's 33. I think he's going to be 34 at the World Cup time, and this guy's absolutely killing it. This is a rare sight to see someone sprout this well so late in his career, and they're going to rely on him at the World Cup, man. They're going to need him to be in top form. They're going to need him to be healthy. He's injured now, which is heartbreaking because he's missing some games from Nottingham, but come World Cup, he has to be healthy.
He'll be back. He'll be back and ready. Okay, guys. So I want to finish with this. What is considered successful for New Zealand at this World Cup? Because we look at this qualification, very different from the last time when, they had to go through the Intercontinental playoffs and all that. It was a much harder road in this case, with all due credit to New Caledonia and Tahiti and Vanuatu and Samoa. It's a little bit of an easier qualification this time. So what is
semifinals or bust? Semifinals or bust. That's it. Nothing less. And nothing less. You Kiwis should expect nothing less than semifinals from this team. That's all I got to say.
You got to improve on the last time you were there, right? So last time you're undefeated. They don't get out of the group. Now, of course, there's an extra round of knockout matches, right? So it's about getting to the knockout stage. This New Zealand team can get to the knockout stage. That should be the expectation. There are going to be some teams in this World Cup that are beatable. There's going to be some CONCACAF teams. There's going to be some lower-end European teams. There's going to be even the bottom of South America may be beatable for this New Zealand team, or at least able to get a draw, Roy. They should make the knockout round, the round of 32.
Interesting to say that some of the South American teams are beatable by New Zealand. So you're talking Paraguay? I don't think so. You're talking Brazil. Brazil is now towards the bottom of qualification, my friend. That's who you're talking about right now. We're not talking about Peru.
I think he's referring to the U.S. The U.S. because we've already got
is beatable by any New Caledonia.
We've already played. Do you guys remember the recent friendly we had against New Zealand? We were the U.S. was winning 1-0, and then New Zealand tied it up at the end.
We tied. That's right. They started like the 90th or something.
Yeah. So New Zealand fans, Kiwis, look out for the U.S. Hopefully, you end up in that group. Yeah,
You'll beat us. So hope to draw us in your group. Jeez.
No, but in all seriousness, okay, look, I agree with Roy. I think New Zealand, you guys have to take the next level coming off an undefeated World Cup. Try to get out of the group. And I think getting out of the group would definitely be considered a success. Going undefeated, or just go for it all, right? Go undefeated again during this World Cup. So all right, everyone, we're excited to have the Kiwis in the US, guys. Final thoughts before we wrap up?
Roy, there's one more reason. Do you know the number 10 on this team? The playmaker. There's a reason that 1 billion people in another country are a little excited about New Zealand making the World Cup. Do you know who we're talking about?
His name, it's not Riley, is it?
No, a little closer to his name.
Go ahead, Riley. Reveal it to him.
His name is Sarpreet Singh, which means
that's right.
At some point in his ancestry, he comes from the great country of India, who will not be at this World Cup, but they will have a representative in some way, form, shape, in the form of this number 10 for New Zealand. So some Indians might be rooting for New Zealand.
Yeah, already he has a Times of India article out about why the Indian population should be rooting for New Zealand this time around since they failed to make the World Cup. So got one.
He's an interesting little player, man.
He's a pretty good player. He's had an interesting journey. He was a Bayern Munich player, if you guys remember.
Yeah,
he's a
that's
Bayern
right.
Munich player.
He
And then
brought up by Bayern Munich after he left
yeah.
New Zealand. He's in Portugal.
Yeah.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
I think in the second division.
Yeah, second division of Portugal. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
But he's finally found a little bit of success there, which is good. He's been showed a lot of promise at the under 20 or under 17 World Cup, one of those, and then Bayern Munich picked him up. So yeah, a lot of good players on this team. There's Marko Stamenić as well. So who's actually trying to get back to Nottingham.
Guys.
So yeah, some interesting
this
guys.
This is a team New Zealand, even under 20 World Cup, they do well consistently as well. So this is not. Don't ignore New Zealand.
Don't ignore them. And I'm going to put this back on so everyone remembers they were the only undefeated team. So all white fans or fans of the rugby team, all blacks who were using, I'm sure you guys will be supporting them. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about how far you think your team can go. And until next time, keep watching the beautiful game.
Vamos Nueva Zelanda!
Wow.